Hi lovelies, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's practice is all about connecting to the earth. So a super grounding practice for you. We're going to stay quite low to the ground. The highest we're going to go is perhaps a low lunge. And I'm going to be touching on the earth element a little bit. And there's kind of three key words we think of when we start to consider the earth as an element. And they are grounding, I've already said it, grounding, stability, and foundation. So that's pretty much what we are going to be focusing on today. So if you feel like you need a little bit of grounding today, this is the practice for you, hopefully. In terms of props, you may want a couple of blocks or something similar. Whatever you have around your homes, feel free to improvise. I'm going to be using a blanket today to protect my slightly dodgy knee. But other than that, you just need your lovely self. So feel free to come down to the mat. We're going to start lying down flat on our backs, but let's have the knees bent, so let's have the soles of the feet down towards the mat, knees pointed up to the sky, and as you come down onto your back, steadily rolling down bone by bone, softening as you go, so as each part of your body kind of meets the ground here, we can instantly feel that softness, hopefully allowing ourselves to just really sink into the ground, taking a moment to just arrive. You might begin to tune into the breath here. Notice how the breath feels as it travels in and out through the nose. Does it feel smooth? Does it feel light and airy? Notice how your body feels today. We might be feeling quite tired, or perhaps we're the opposite, maybe we're a little bit energized today. Just checking in with yourselves, noticing how you are feeling in this moment, what you are bringing into your practice. Doesn't mean we have to feel a certain way. Just noticing. And as we lie here, perhaps just recognizing that invitation to surrender. So we surrender to the earth, surrender to that soft pull of gravity, welcoming us into the mat. And as gravity works to pull us closer and closer to the earth's core, coming to the earth center in some small way today. We're doing the same within our bodies, so finding the core within ourselves and drawing ourselves into our center. Again, finding that steadiness, that stability within. So as you lie here, you might simply begin to imagine these roots growing from the parts of your body in connection to the earth, slowly burrowing their way down into this nutrient-rich soil. And in the same way, a tree needs those strong, steady roots in order to grow tall towards the sun. We're exactly the same here. We need that foundation, we need that stability in order to grow. So throughout this practice today, slowly allowing those roots to grow longer and stronger. And in turn, we ourselves perhaps grow that little bit closer towards the sun. Take a deep breath in here and a deep breath out. Okay. From here, you may need to walk your feet a little bit closer towards your sit bones. So still keeping the feet firmly rooted down towards the ground, just bringing them a little bit closer towards you. Bringing your arms down by your sides, if they're not already, palms to hands facing down. And you're going to get that connection between the earth, between the hands and the feet here. So starting to push down from those places. And notice the movement of your tailbone. So take a breath. As we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, press the lower spine down and towards the mat. And then begin to push down through the hands and feet. See if we can begin to rise the hips away from the ground. Lower spine starts to lift off. Beautiful. And we rise up bone by bone. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we steadily roll down through the spine. Again, vertebrae by vertebrae. Feeling that softness as each body part lands back down towards the earth. And as the hips come down, we can let that tailbone untuck. And we can soften that a little bit here. We're going to do that twice more. So just bringing in a little bit kind of strength within the glutes, that strength to push us away from the ground. But then there's that softness as we allow ourselves to relax back down. Take a deep breath. Exhale, tucking the tailbone under, press the lower spine down and then pushing down through the feet. Glutes activate, we rise the hips up high as they feel comfortable here. Keeping the head and neck stable, perhaps keeping the eyes closed or just gazing directly up to the sky. Take a deep breath. Exhale, we roll back down, landing with softness. Beautiful. Take another breath in. Exhale, let's go one more time, tucking that tailbone under, steadily rising the hips off. As we get to the top, maybe we can take an inhale, just lift that a little bit higher. Exhale, we steadily roll back down. Beautiful. Soften into the mat as you land. Okay. And then from here, let's maybe just draw the right knee in towards the chest. Left foot can stay exactly where it is. You can bring your hands to take hold of the right knee, right shin, or back of the right thigh. And just create a little bit of movement into that right hip socket. So a little sway of the knee from side to side. Okay. And then just adjusting your hands slightly. So bringing the hands to interlace round the back of that right thigh. Keep this close proximity between the belly and the thigh as best as you can. Flex into that right foot. Take a breath. And as you exhale, kick with that right heel up to the sky, beginning to lengthen through this right leg. At the same time, we keep drawing this right thigh into the chest. Back of the head remains grounded. Shoulder blades stay nestled underneath you. So if you find that your shoulder blades are lifting off to reach higher up the leg, bring the hands that little bit lower down. You could also use a strap here to bridge the gap. Beautiful. Okay. Noticing that length up and down that right leg. Take one more breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend back into that right knee, draw it back in towards the chest, and then hook right ankle on top of the left knee. So we've got this kind of figure 4 shape, sending the right knee away from you. From here, left leg gets a bit involved. So we're going to draw the left knee in towards the chest, keeping right ankle on top of the left knee. And we may be able to thread the hands through to take hold of the back of the left thigh, or you may even be able to take hold of the left shin here. But again, we keep the back of the head down, we keep the shoulder blades nestled underneath us. Keep sending that right knee away from your chest. So this is our reclined pigeon pose. You may notice that little stretch down the outside of the right hip. You could even have a soft little sway here, giving the spine a little massage down into the mat. Still connecting down to the earth. Take another breath in. As we exhale, we can gently let go of that left thigh. Keep this orientation of the legs. Just let that left foot float back down towards the mat. And then open the arms out into a T-shape. So imagine you're kind of spreading your wings, increasing your surface area as the body just melts down into the ground. From here, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're softly allowing the legs to float down towards the left-hand side. But you're keeping that orientation. So you've still got the right ankle stacked on top of the left knee. You're still pressing that right knee away from you. You might find that the sole of the right foot can land down towards the ground, or it might not. Okay, doesn't matter. Just bring the knees across the left as far as feels comfortable. You might again feel a stretch a little bit down the outside of the right hip here. Maybe it's kind of slightly deeper into the right hip flexor. Beautiful. We take a deep breath in here. Take a deep breath out. Inhale, steadily rise the knees back up through the center. Okay. And then we can uncross that right leg, let that right foot float down towards the mat. Let's have a little look on the other side. Again, taking our time. The whole spine throughout this is just super soft down and towards the mat. So drawing the left knee in, hands can take hold of the shin, the knee, the back of the thigh, whichever feels best for you. Give that knee a little roll around from side to side. It's almost like you're literally rolling your femur, your thigh bone, in and around where it attaches into the hip socket. Finding a little bit more fluidity in that joint there. Okay. And then from here, just adjusting your grip. So bringing the hands to the back of the left thigh, flexing into that left ankle. Take a breath in. And as we exhale, we kick that left heel up to the sky. So really stretching through the back of the leg. And by leading with the heel, you're getting that slightly deeper activation through the back of the leg rather than leading with the toes. When we lead with the toes, you're more focusing on stretching through the front of the leg. Perhaps you might feel it through the front of the shin. But by flexing through the ankle, we send that stretch down the calf muscle here. And again, let's try and keep that close proximity between left thigh and the belly here. So you still draw that thigh in towards the chest. But notice how my knee here is a little bit bent. That doesn't mean we need to be locking it out at the knee. We can keep that little bit of softness there and still get the stretch. Okay. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Let's bend through that left knee and we're going to hook the left ankle on top of the right knee. So here we go, reclined pigeon. We send that left knee away from us and we keep flexing into that left ankle. It just adds a little bit of protection for that left knee here as we find that external rotation. And then right knee gets involved again. We draw it back in towards the chest, threading the arms through, maybe taking hold of the back of the right thigh, or you may wish to take hold of the right shin. Okay, and you may wish to invite that little sway back in from side to side as you notice the stretch down the outside of the left hip, or you might be feeling this elsewhere in the body. Notice what your experience of the pose is here today. Okay, one more breath. One more exhale. Softly letting go of that right thigh, let the right foot float down towards the mat. And we sweep the arms open out to the side. Open your wings here. Okay, full breath in. Full breath out. Floating legs down towards the right. But again, you've still got the left ankle on top of the right knee. You're still sending that left knee away from you. Beautiful. Maybe the sole of the left foot touches down to the ground, or maybe it's kind of hovering off here. Okay. Keep your heart open towards the sky. Those roots are still continuing to burrow down underneath you. Okay, one more breath here. One more exhale. As we inhale, let's rise all the way back up to the top. We can uncross that left ankle. And you may wish to, as that left foot lands down next to right, you may separate the feet slightly, have a little sway of the knees from side to side, easing off any pressure that may be in the hips. And then in your own time, just gently rolling to one side. Left or right, doesn't matter. Use your hands to help you, and let's rise up. Let's come through seated. We're going to go straight to a tabletop. Okay. So sending the hands out in front. Walking the knees back behind you so you have the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath hips. Okay. And thinking about this connection between the hands and your mat. So quite often when we bring the hands down towards the ground, we rely on the heel of the hand to just take all of our weight here, but we want to get those fingertips a little bit more involved. So from here, let's find this kind of ripple motion through the hands. So we're going to lift one hand at a time, lifting the heel of the hand first, then kind of the pad of the hand, the base of your knuckles, then the fingertips kind of floats off, and then you lead back with the heel of the hand, it lands, then the pad of the hand, then the fingertips. As it lands, we change over. Heel of the hand lifts, pad of the hand, fingertips. Heel of the hand lands, base knuckles land, fingertips. Okay, and just changing, just like that, side to side. Bringing one hand up, one hand down. Beautiful. Okay, and just thinking about activating through the entirety of the palm as it lands down towards the mat. So not just relying on the heel of the hand, but the fingertips softly gripping down here. And by articulating through the hand, by finding this ripple, you're making sure also all these tiny little joints in the knuckles are getting that little bit of movement there. Okay, so we tend to focus on kind of the larger joints in the body, like the hip joint, the shoulders, but very rarely do we focus on these tiny joints in the hand. So we're literally doing just that. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out, and then just start to, as you go through this, start to spin the fingertips out to the side, so getting a slightly deeper stretch through the wrists. Okay, we keep this going until eventually the fingertips start to point back towards us. Now don't feel as though they have to point directly back towards you. They might be turned slightly out to the side. That's okay. As we come to this place, let's see if we can hold here. So we've got that stretch through the inside of the wrist. And if it feels okay, let's bring in our cat's cow with this orientation of the arm. So it might feel like there's a little less range of movement here. That's okay. Let's just give it a go. As we inhale, we let the belly glide down. We lift it through the head and heart. We lift the tailbone up to the sky. As we exhale, we begin to round through the back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone under, still pushing down through the hands to take the shoulder blades high to the sky. Beautiful, we keep that going. Inhale, let the belly glide down, lift up through the head and heart. Beautiful, feel free to keep this movement as slow and steady as you'd like. You may want to move through this a little bit more quickly if you've got that little bit more energy today, but sometimes it's really nice to slow things down and just really tune into all the internal workings of the body here. Beautiful, notice how the breath affects the movement. Still getting that connection down to the earth beneath. Feel the energy of the earth rise up from the hands, from the knees, up towards the center of the body. Beautiful. Okay, and then on your next inhale, let's find that neutral spine again and carefully spin the fingertips to point back ahead, so pointing back forwards. You can have a little roll of those wrists if you need to. Okay, and then thinking about opposite hand to leg is going to lift at the exact same time. So that energy from the earth has risen up through the hands and the knees. It's drawn through towards the center. We've got that energy collected there. So that's going to add to this little stability that's required for this. Okay. So let's begin with the left knee and the right hand. So as you inhale, they both lift at the same time. You're going to send the left leg back, right arm forwards, and we're just going to hold here. So we've got that energy of the earth drawn towards our center. We are stable here. And if we're feeling particularly wobbly here, that's okay. The body is working to find that stability. So it's a good sign. Beautiful. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Now we're going to keep that left leg lifted. Let's float the right hand down. It lands down towards the mat. And then we're going to begin to lift this left hip. So you stack the left hip on top of right. Roll the left shoulder back. Can we take that left arm to the sky? So we come to this kind of modified side plank here. And again, we might feel a little bit wobbly. That's okay. But it also might be quite a nice little experiment to almost test that stability. So we can kind of throw the leg, play with the arm in the air, and see if we can maintain that stability. We've still got this foundation through right knee, right hand. We're still drawing up the energy of the earth, but the rest of the body is free to move and we're still rooted. Okay. Just have a little play. Doesn't mean we have to. Take a deep breath. Take an exhale. Okay, from here, we're going to start to dive this left knee forwards. With control, can we steadily step that left foot to the top of the mat? Well done. Okay, left hand can circle back and down, and then it's going to come forwards to meet the right arm, and let's inhale, send both arms up to the sky. Now, as I said, this is the highest we are going to go today. So from here, feeling that foundation through the legs, so spreading those left toes down and towards the mat. Little stretch across the front of the right hip flexor. You may want to glide the hips forwards and down, kind of sinking you back closer down towards the earth. Fingertips reaching up towards the sun. Take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out. And then nice and easy, we're going to let the hands float all the way down towards the ground, and finding your blocks maybe, if you have any, or just improvising here. So you can either bring the hands down to the ground or to some blocks. Let's begin to lengthen through that left leg, sending your hips back, coming into a little half split stretch. So again, you can keep a little bend through that left knee. Just finding the stretch down the back of that left leg, keeping the fingertips rooted down. And if you find that the fingertips are kind of struggling to reach either towards the blocks or towards the mat, find a higher surface. So you may bring the blocks up a level, whatever height you need. And then over time, we might work our way back down, okay? So don't feel as though you need to struggle to reach towards that foundation here. Bring the ground up to you. Let's take one more breath here. One more exhale. Okay, and then nice and easy, we're going to sink the weight back forwards into that left knee. We're going to place the blocks to one side, and then let's just send left foot all the way back next to right. You can separate the knees slightly here. Big toes can come together to touch. Melt your hips back towards your heels. Take a nice and easy little child's pose. So letting the belly rest in between the thighs. Let the heart sink towards the ground. You can either keep reaching the fingertips forwards, or it might be quite nice to stack one fist on top of the other. Use that as a little platform for the forehead to rest on. Beautiful. This is just an opportunity between both sides of the sequence to again connect to the earth. And previously we were lying on our back, so the back body was getting super connected to the ground. Now this is an opportunity for the front body to perhaps receive the benefits of that connection there. Taking one more breath in. One more breath out. And then as we inhale, gently lifting our gaze, looking forwards. We're going to reach the fingertips along the mat if they're not already. Staying as low to the ground as we can. Let's just steadily swim the belly along the mat, coming to lie onto your fronts. Okay. You can keep the legs slightly separated here. Let the heels roll in, toes point out. And maybe coming into a little sphinx. So forearms kind of support the chest here. The structure of your bones help to lift up through the heart space, but then it's the muscles that kind of enable us to lift up that little bit higher, drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears. Beautiful. Letting the hips sink down towards the earth. Let's just take one deep breath in here. And as we exhale, let's let the elbows slide out to the side, ripple the heart all the way down. Let the hands arrive underneath your shoulders, and then steadily pushing the ground away, arriving back into your tabletop. Okay. And we're going to start that sequence again on the other side. So first of all, we start with the opposite arm to leg. So this time it's going to be the left hand and the right knee. As you inhale, begin to stretch the left fingertips forwards, right leg back. See if you can lift them off at the same time. Beautiful. Still drawing up the energy of the earth. Okay. Take a deep breath. Exhale, left hand softly floats down towards the mat, but we keep that right leg lifted. This time we begin to lift the right hip up to the sky, stacking it on top of left. Right shoulder rolls back, and we send that right arm up to the sky. Little modified side plank, and again, we might feel a little wobbly here. That's okay. Embrace all of those wobbles, or maybe make a thing out of them. So maybe kind of see if we can wobble ourselves a little bit more. It's trying to throw ourselves off balance, but we're still rooted down through left hand, left knee. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Well done. And then from here, we begin to draw the right knee in towards the chest. Look down towards the top of the mat and see if you can softly land that right foot. There, beautiful. We can circle right arm back and down. It's going to meet the left. Inhale, sweep both arms up to the sky. Low lunge. Okay. This low lunge, as always, might feel different on one side compared to the other. We might feel a little bit more wobbly on one side. That's the case for me. I'm always wobbling with this blanket underneath my leg. Okay. So from here, fingertips reaching up to the sun, maybe the hips gliding down towards the earth. Just one deep breath in and a deep breath out. Beautiful. Melt the heart forwards. Hands come down to frame that right foot. Maybe we bring our blocks back in here. We lengthen that right leg, sending the hips back level with that left knee. Lifting those right toes up to the sky for your half split stretch. Okay. Feel free to walk the blocks a little bit closer in if you need perhaps that little bit more height. Okay. Beautiful. Softening through the elbows, melting the heart forwards. Let's take one more breath. One more exhale. Okay. And then from here, we're going to begin to shift the weight forward, soften back into that right knee. We can slide the blocks out to one side, and then again, we're going to send right foot all the way back next to the left. Now, instead of coming into a child's pose here, we're going to tuck all 10 toes under. And even reaching back and making sure that pinky toe edge of the foot is also tucked under. Okay. And then take your time. You may bring your blocks with you as you go. You're going to walk your hands towards you, sending your sit bones back towards your heels. You might instantly feel the stretch through the soles of the feet. So similar to what I was saying before about that focusing through the smaller joints of the body. It's exactly the same here. We're focusing on those tiny joints within the feet here. So stretching through the toes, the arch of the foot. And over time, we may be able to lift ourselves up that little bit higher. So you may bring the hands up to the thighs and see if we can come to sit all the way up here. This, for some of us, may feel quite intense. So take it easy, stay with your breath. If it's too intense, bring the hands back down, okay? So if you find yourselves kind of leaning forwards, just give yourselves that little bit of support by finding the earth again beneath you, okay? Now, wherever you are, we're just going to take 3 breaths. Soften through the shoulders, maybe close off the eyes if you wish. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more, you've got it. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Well done. From here, gently send yourselves back forwards. Try not to rush, even though I know it's super tempting. Okay. Coming back into our tabletop, you can untuck those toes and you're going to release through the feet. So you're going to tap the tops of the feet down towards the mat. Feel free to make a little bit of noise, little tippy taps. Shake it off. Okay. And then when you're ready to, I'm just going to move my blanket out the way. From here, you're going to come to seated. So feel free to maybe swing the ankles around and bring yourselves down that way. Or maybe crossing at the ankles. So you're kind of crossing the ankles and then sending them to opposite edges of the mat. You're going to begin to send your sit bones back behind you. Walk the fingertips towards you. Maybe coming to seated that way. As you go, by coming backwards into seated, you may feel that stretch through the outside of the hips. Okay. So, wherever you are, as you come to seated, as always, nestle the sit bones down in towards the mat. Let's sit up nice and tall. Let's take a deep breath in, sweep the arms all the way up. Now as you exhale, you're going to melt the heart forward, send the sit bones back as you come to fold over the legs. You may bring the fingertips out to the side, or you may walk the hands out in front. Okay. Letting the spine perhaps round slightly, you can release through the back of the neck. Keep your sit bones rooted down towards the earth. Okay. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. As we inhale, we may lift the head and chest slightly. We're going to creep the fingertips round to the left. So reaching kind of past your left knee here. Stretching the right fingertips just a little bit further away than the left hand, so you're really getting that stretch through the right side body. Lovely, well done. Release some forehead down. You may even be able to rest your chin or your forehead on that left knee. Okay, so you're still folding forwards, but you're just reaching towards that diagonal here. Notice how this affects your stretch here maybe. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. As we inhale, I'm going to walk the hands towards us. We're still kind of facing over this left leg. So as you walk the hands in, rising up, and then the right hand is going to come towards the left knee. We just adjust that left hand back behind us. We come into this little twist. Now this doesn't need to be kind of the most deepest twist we have ever taken. It's just kind of this soft spiral round, leading with the heart round to the left. Lower body stays grounded down towards the mat. Just taking a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we kind of reverse our way out of it. So we're going to melt the heart forwards over this left leg. Begin to sweep the arms out in front. So you kind of walk the fingertips through center. And we come across to reaching towards the right diagonal. So we're kind of folding over this right knee. Okay. Stretching the left fingertips away. Just really trying to keep the palms down towards the mat. So again, we've got this solid foundation. We can feel the earth beneath our hands. Beautiful. With every breath, perhaps allowing you to come that little bit further into the stretch, or perhaps enabling you to surrender that little bit more. Let's take another inhale and another exhale. As we inhale, let's walk the hands towards us. So we're still folding over towards the right knee. So we're not coming through the center just yet. As we rise up, left hand is going to come towards the right knee. Adjust that right hand back behind you, and we arrive into this twist. And again, it doesn't need to be kind of yanking ourselves around into this twist. It's just that soft spiral. Heart drifting across to the right, to lower body super rooted down. Take another breath in. And then as we exhale again, reverse our way out. We melt the heart forwards over this right knee. Begin to sweep the fingertips across towards the center. Let's come back into the center, forward fold. And again, maybe we can come a little bit further this time. Maybe we notice that the elbows drop down. Lovely. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. Okay, let's inhale. Steadily walk the hands towards you, rolling up through the spine, stacking up bone by bone. Okay, let's take the hands back behind us, lift the knees up to the sky, maybe stepping the feet out to the side slightly. You can have a little sway of the knees from side to side. Okay. And then from here, let's extend both legs out in front. Okay, you can have a little wriggle of those toes. We're going to take a fairly deep stretch. We're going to come into fire lock, but we're going to come into it a really steady, mindful way. So do feel free to, again, have those props around you if you feel like you might need them. Let's start with the right knee. We're going to draw right knee in towards the chest. Maybe wrap the arms around the shin. Have a little sway from side to side. And then you're going to think about cradling this right leg. So maybe sending, or maybe left hand first of all just takes hold of the outside edge of the right foot. Right hand is going to take hold of the right knee, and you're aiming to kind of bring the shin close towards your chest. Almost like we're rocking a little baby here. I'm just going to sway it from side to side. I'm not sure if this is how you would rock a baby, but anyway, let's go with it. Okay. You can stay exactly as you are here, or maybe sending the outside edge of the right foot to the inner crease of the left elbow. Right knee to the inner crease of the right elbow, maybe the fingertips interlace. Keep lifting up through the heart space. If this is a little bit challenging, just come back to taking hold of the foot and the knee, okay? Take a deep breath. Take an exhale. From here, let the hands gently come apart, and we're going to lay this right ankle on top of the left knee, or kind of just below the knee, okay? Lean into hands as you slide the left heel in. We come to this figure four shape, very similar to what we did towards the beginning when we were lying down. You might want to walk the heel quite closely in, or slide the bum closer towards that left heel, lifting up through the chest. So again, drawing this right shin as close as you can towards your chest. Let's take a breath in here and a breath out. And then gently heel toeing that left foot over to the right. And you're going to bring the shins to stack on top of one another. Okay, so right ankle stacks on top of the left knee. Right knee stacks on top of the left ankle. You may find this left ankle wants to come closer towards your sit bone, so it looks more like a cross-legged position. It's slightly different. You actually want to bring that left heel a little bit further forward, so again it's directly underneath the right knee. If you notice this big gap here, this is where the block can come in handy, and it's going to take the weight of that right knee rather than letting that right knee kind of hang in space, and it puts a little bit more pressure on the hip. Take a block and it takes that pressure off. You can bring it to a slightly higher height if needs be, or add in that second block also. Now, already seated like this might be quite a challenge, so be super kind to yourselves. Stay rooted down through the sit bones, still trying to grow tall through the spine. You may bring your fingertips down by your sides to encourage that lift up through the heart. Some of us may find this fairly okay. So you may, if you are okay here, you may think about sending your sit bones back, heart forwards, then begin to fold over the legs. Doesn't mean we have to here. So if you're focusing on just being up here, stay exactly as you are. That's perfectly fine. Okay. But maybe we're reaching forwards. You may bring the hands out in front, or maybe keeping them out to the side. Finding that lovely long spine. Beautiful. We're just going to be here for about 2 more breaths. We've already been here for quite some time. So take it easy. Beautiful. Deep breath in. Fill up the lungs entirely. Deep breath out. Beautiful. As we inhale, we steadily walk the hands back towards us, rise back up. Taking any props from between that gap, we're going to take hold of this front leg, kind of lift it off the bottom leg, and we're going to slide that left leg out in front. And then we can release that right leg also, okay? As you send both legs out in front, again, just a little wriggle of the toes. You might sway the knees from side to side if you wish. Take a moment to do whatever you need to do before we come on to the other side. So here we go. Hands taking hold of the left knee. We draw it in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the shin. Have a little sway from side to side. Okay. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Okay, thinking about cradling this left shin. So right hand is going to take hold of the left foot. Left hand is going to come towards the left knee, and think about externally rotating this left knee, externally rotating the thigh bone to draw this left shin towards the chest. So it takes a little bit of strength of the arms to draw that ankle in. And again, notice how I'm flexing through the foot. That's going to add that little bit of protection for that knee. Okay, and if we were pointing through the foot, we might notice we sickle through the foot, so we overstretch the outside of the ankle here. So definitely flex through the ankle if we can. Okay, maybe coming that little bit further, sending the outside edge of the left foot to the inner edge of the right elbow. Left knee to the inner crease of the left elbow. Sitting up as tall as we can. Little sways from side to side, again, like we're rocking an imaginary baby. Lovely. Take a breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to gently lay the baby down, lay our shin down. So the left ankle comes to rest just above this right knee here. Lean into the hands back behind you, slide the right heel in, and you may kind of slide the right heel as close as it wants to go, or you may shimmy the bum that little bit closer, so you're aiming to bring that left shin closer towards the chest, shoulders away from the ears, so making sure we're not kind of collapsing down here. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, heel toeing right foot over to the left. Okay. So aiming to bring the shins to stack on top of one another. So left ankle stacks on top of the right knee. Left knee stacks on top of the right ankle. You may notice one side feels a little bit different compared to the other. This side may feel a little bit easier. There might feel more space there, or it might feel a little bit more challenging. So again, take a breath. Take your time. If you need to come out of it sooner, that is absolutely okay. Maybe we need a block in between that gap there to take the pressure off this left hip. Maybe we've got the fingertips down by our sides to keep the heart lifted. Okay. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we may begin to fold forwards. And again, it's a maybe. It's an option. Doesn't mean we have to. Lovely, well done. Staying here for about 3 more breaths. We've got this. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. 2 more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Really well done. Walk the hands back towards you. Steadily rise all the way back up. Okay. Taking the block out from underneath that gap, and then helping this left leg a little bit. You're going to lift it on top, lift it away from the right leg, sorry. Let that right leg release, and then we can step the left foot down. And let's bring the feet down towards the mat, and let's sway the knees side to side. Okay, this is just going to help to bring a little bit of fluidity back into those hips after that deep stretch. Okay, and then when we're ready to, from here, we're going to come all the way down onto our backs already. I don't know how that felt for you, but that went really quick. Okay, I'm going to come all the way down onto your back, so as you go, feel free to bring in any other elements of comfort, coziness. Let yourself sink into the ground, and you can come to a place kind of similar to where we started, with the soles of the feet down towards the ground, letting the knees knock together. This is especially great to get that connection between the lower spine and the mat, as when we lengthen the legs, you might notice the lower spine lifts off, and that's just that natural curve in the spine there. So it's up to you. You might have legs bent, legs straight, arms down by your sides, hands to the belly or chest. Take a moment to kind of set the scene for your Shavasana. And then allow yourselves to sink in here. Once again, connecting to the earth beneath you, connecting to the movement of the earth. Maybe feeling, again, that soft pull of gravity. And at the same time as we are sinking down, perhaps imagining the arms of the earth rising up to kind of wrap around you and embrace you here. It's like the earth is giving you that little hug. Perhaps feeling as though we are held here. So no longer do we need to hold ourselves in any particular way. We can let the body be soft. Let the belly be soft as it rises and falls according to the breath. And seeing if we can surrender that a little bit more with every out breath. Surrendering to the earth. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Taking your time as we welcome little bits of movement back into the body. Fingertips, toes, wrists and ankles. Take yourselves into a stretch or curl yourselves up. Whatever you choose to do here. Steadily waking yourselves back up. And then when you're ready, choosing a side, left or right. Just letting ourselves roll to that one side. You can pause there for a moment if you wish. Maybe using your hands to help you rising up. And coming back to a comfortable seat. Okay. Settling those sit bones down into the ground. Rising up tall. So crown of the head reaching towards the sun. Sit bones rooting down towards the earth. Let's bring the palms of the hands to rest upon the knees. Slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. Closing the eyes as we seal our practice, as always, with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. May you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Thank you, YouTube yogis, for joining me for a little grounding practice. And I hope that was that little bit of grounding you needed today. And I hope it stays with you throughout the rest of the day, the week, the month, beyond. The year. So I hope to be back on the mat with you very soon, hopefully next week. So until then, stay well and I'll see you soon. Mwah! Bye.